responded to a report of a male and a female involved in a disturbance on the 700 block of Front Street. When the officer arrived, there was a vehicle parked there and a female outside the vehicle. The vehicles began to drive away, and the officer ordered the driver to stop, which he did. The officer then approached the vehicle and discovered that Clinton Sproles was the driver of the vehicle. He's a 54-year-old male who is on parole here in Butte. He also noticed that there was alcoholic beverage on his breath. His speech was slurred, and so he began to investigate a DUI at that time.
And
Yep. There were some field sobriety maneuvers given at the scene, and then he was transported to the county jail for further investigation of the DUI. En route to the jail, Mr. Sproles advised the officer who was transporting him that he believed he had 22 prior DUIs in various states. We haven't been able to confirm that at this time, but we do know that he has an extensive record for driving while under the influence of alcohol. So we'll have to go through his record to determine the exact number, but he does have two separate charges statewide for fourth or subsequent offense, which are both felonies, and he is a persistent felony offender based on his driving past.
and most people would say, as the typical is, how does somebody, if this is true and it's been reported before that he's at least had 19, how does somebody continue to rack up these DUIs despite the fact that they're felonies? How does this happen?
Well, it's hard to believe somebody could actually be out of incarceration with that many DUIs, and we'll have to see exactly how many he has, but he is on parole and on supervision, so that's what brought him to Butte Silver Bow. And so we'll continue to look into the exact number of DUIs, but it is a felony offense for, again, fourth and subsequent offense. Any offense after 4 DUIs is a felony, and he has 2 prior at least here in Montana. So, but if the press reports are right, it looks like he has at least 19 DUIs throughout his driving career, which is pretty alarming.
And somebody like that, I mean, what is just for felony DUI, multiple persistent, what is the potential, what is the max?
Well, the last time he was sentenced was 240 months. So he must have been paroled on that offense. Obviously probably had some treatment inside the facility and paroled on that offense. But that's something we're going to have to look into. But obviously he would not only be, in this case, an additional felony for fourth or subsequent offense, but he would also likely be deemed a persistent felony offender, which would be another enhancement on his sentence.
And usually if a DUI, what is the max? What is the penalty for felony?
I don't know that there is a max, because you can get an additional time sentence for each one. Plus there's an additional enhancement for being a persistent felony offender. So we'd have to work through the record for actual number of convictions just to find out exactly how many convictions he has, but it looks like it'll be at least his 3rd felony in Montana for driving while under the influence of alcohol, and he also had a persistent felony offender in the past. So I would think that he would likely be charged being a persistent felony offender again.
Probably get some kind of prison time perhaps. Or
well, it doesn't look like he's getting any kind of a message to stop his behavior. That's the concerning part. And anytime you're racking up DUIs at that's a pretty amazing pace for anybody to set. So it's deeply concerning that he'd be out driving with potentially 22 DUIs.
And because I know the laws are focused on treatment, instead of punishment. But in this case,
well, I think at this point he's running out of his options, and obviously he needs to be incarcerated before somebody gets hurt.